But what the temperatures aren't telling you is that our kind of comfort levels will kind of be better by the end of this week. Humidity is going to slowly go down by Friday. For the latest forecast, go to CWG.news/latest. And we've got more 90-degree days to add to our tally, 26 days and counting that we've had in the DC area of 90-degree days or hotter so far this year. So we are pretty toasty. Has it been completely abnormally uncomfortable? No. Maybe 2 weeks ago was the peak discomfort with the combination of temperatures with those muggy high humidity dew points that we were experiencing. And the moisture will be kind of increasing tonight in these areas where you do see some rain on radar around the DC region. This could add to some patchy fog later tonight and to the water vapor being pulled into the atmosphere for tomorrow. So if we have a wet ground, we very well could see these hot apparent temperatures, these hot heat index values. It's going to feel awfully sticky tomorrow when combining the heat, the air temperature with the muggy dew points. Look at that, 97 degrees, maybe 102 for the peak heat index value in Richmond. We are going to be sweating. Tomorrow could be the hottest day, and that's of the week. And that's why I put in the little emoji tomorrow, the very hot, sweaty face for tomorrow, because we could see maybe 1 or 2 scattered severe storms as well, pulling from that steaminess in the air. And it's Wednesday, could see 1 or 2 thunderstorms as well. And then again on Thursday, that is kind of Monday and Thursday are the 2 days with the highest rain chances possible. Doris, too hot this week to bicycle? Yes, I agree with you. It is awfully hot and humid again, but if you must do some exercise, which I am pro exercise, do it very early or very late in the day. Make sure you're hydrating, follow these tips. While we don't think we'll be muggy gross this week, we should keep dew points below 70 degrees and slowly stair step them down towards a slightly more dry heat by the end of the week. You still want to take it easy. It's still July, even though, yes, you will talk to me next Sunday for our weekly Sunday Sunset Chat. It will be August finally. Here's one way to cool down. I liked this. We were tagged on Twitter at Capital Weather on Twitter today. Jeannie was able to show us that water, kind of the water fountain, the slight water park you might call it there in Georgetown. I think this is a great way to cool off. So make sure you're following us on all of our social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And tag us when you can on Twitter at Capital Weather, and on Facebook, CWG.news/Facebook, and we're there on YouTube as well. I'm Camden Walker, coming to you live on this weekly Sunday Sunset Q&A. Sunsets are slowly getting earlier and earlier, 8:25 p.m. tonight in the DC area. But we still, look at that, have plenty of daylight. We're probably not going to notice the lack of daylight really noticeable until kind of August 20th, let's say, that last third of August. Still over 14 hours of daylight, down from our peak day length, which is from sunrise to sunset. We had 14 hours and 54 minutes, I believe, at our peak on the summer solstice, June 21st. Jennifer says it's too hot for me. Dog days of August, indeed, David, they're coming up. Kareem, nice to be outside again. Excellent. Yes, I am glad to be outside as well. The weather is vile, says Stephanie. I really love summertime. Yes, seasonal affective disorder can affect us in summer and winter as well. Good evening, Rob. Will I need an umbrella if I decide to go for a walk around the wharf tonight? I say around downtown, radar is looking okay. But if you are closer to the Appalachians and even along the Mason-Dixon line up there, along the Pennsylvania-Maryland border, you might want to take an umbrella. But if you are downtown and let's say east of I-95, I say probabilities are risk it without an umbrella. Go for a walk right now, quickly, just in case I'm wrong. Radar is looking pretty clear for folks along and east of I-95 right now, including downtown. So great question, Rob. Laura is loving all the daylight still. Indeed, we still have plenty of daylight, and we won't notice it once it dips below 14 hours of daylight later in August. But I appreciate you all tuning in for these weekly Sunday Sunset Chats, which are tied to the sunset time at 8:25 p.m. in the DC area. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com. And for any time you need us, we're at CapitalWeatherGang.com. Our latest forecast at CWG.news/latest as well. It's a hot week, a hot work week, but what the good news is that humidity and those dew points, that those real palpable, humid feeling dew points will slowly stair step down incrementally as we get toward Friday. And that's why I have that kind of relaxation emoji, a little bit of a fresh air emoji there on Friday. We could see some drier, more comfortable air, a little more breathable, a little more relaxing, a drier heat. And guess what? 89 degrees is a right smack on average for this upcoming Friday if that high temperature does hold true for Friday, 89 degrees. So hard to complain when we have some average heat and below average humidity. After all, we're still finishing out July, so we do expect a certain amount of heat and humidity with our average high still currently at 90 degrees, which is right about average today. At most of, I think all three of our airports are right about their average high temperature for today, July 25th. So what else do we have for you? I've got the flagging of the maybe hottest day of the week is tomorrow. When combining heat with humidity, the apparent temperature is going to feel near 100 degrees in some spots in Maryland and Virginia, looking pretty sweaty and uncomfortable there tomorrow. All right, Rob is loving 142 days until the average for snowfall. Wow, Rob, you were statistically on it. Kareem, you're saying boo to Rob and Red. Do we need to worry about wet bulb temperatures here in the DMV anytime soon? No, but for the latest on that, you can go to CWG.news/wetbulb. That is a handy measure that's sometimes interchangeable with dew point, but when you were exerting yourself, wet bulb temperature is a little bit more important. For the latest on that, though, go to CWG.news/wetbulb. We covered that this week on why that's important in a human-induced warming climate throughout the globe. Maria, do you know when the cicada babies will finish dropping from the trees? I think very soon, if not already. They are creepy looking with their red eyes. And Deborah, you're most welcome for the update. We need rain in Fauquier County, so let's check on rain throughout the region. Here's the frustrating thing. A neighbor just a mile or two away could have more rain than you. It's been hit or miss, and let's look ahead first toward next Sunday when you talk to me. We have some hope for rain in the DC region, but of course you see some spots there, feast and famine. But the reason it is focused, some of those heavier rain amounts south and east of town, is because we have a cold front stalling out. This is the Tuesday night map, Tuesday evening or so. We do see a cold front that's moving through tomorrow in the DC area on Monday. It moves south of the region, but could kind of dance around us just south of the region, like southeastern Virginia, maybe near the North Carolina border. And that is the impetus, the spark that is allowing extra lift in the atmosphere and giving a little bit more beneficial rains to southeastern Virginia. Look at that, Virginia Beach, maybe up to 3.8 inches in the next 7 days of rain. Now, drought-wise, we're doing okay. New England and maybe southwest of DC in the southwestern Virginia, central Virginia, that has some spotty areas of abnormally dry and some drought conditions. But look east of the Mississippi River, we are doing much better. So yes, it's a pain to water our crops in the Mid-Atlantic and water our gardens, but we're doing okay. And looking backward 7 days, yes, we've got some dry spots. In Fauquier County, I can see even on this zoomed out map of the Northeast United States, there is that white spot just west of DC. So Fauquier, I know you need some rain there in Fauquier, Deborah, but we have some hope over the next 7 days, even though we've had some hit or miss storms. That's just the nature of this rain this time of year. July, yes, is our wettest month, but it depends on the week. If the thunderstorm downpours over you, you're good to go for about a week. But I do want to caution that we do have slight chances for severe storms this week, and heavy downpours might sound good, but they could unleash a quick 2 inches of rain, which could cause some patchy flooding this week and lightning as well, and maybe an occasional damaging wind gust above 57 miles per hour in the Mid-Atlantic, but nothing widespread. Hopefully, and generally speaking, yes, we can see some beneficial rains this week from some everyday summer thunderstorms. And here again is the future looking 7 days. By the time you talk to me next Sunday, generally speaking, southeast of town of DC has a greater chance of seeing some rain. And even parts of Pennsylvania, New York State as well have a decent chance of seeing moderate amounts of rain over the next few days. Rebecca says it's too hot to walk my puppy. I'm sorry to hear that. David, below 90 at the end of the week. Yes, I have thumbs up for that. We'll see. It's awfully close. If you want to be exact, which we should not be, looking out toward Friday, plus or minus a few degrees, medium confidence when looking that far out. But yes, generally speaking, a cold front should come through. Drier, more relaxing, breathable air by Friday comes into play, so that 89 degrees feels more like a dry heat. Pretty well, average on the temperatures, below average on the humidity should make it feel relatively comfortable for that 89-degree reading potentially on Friday. And for the latest forecast, go to CWG.news/latest. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com on the air for you the next 10 minutes, taking your questions and comments. Doris, you need rain in Frederick, Maryland as well. Doris, the air quality has not been great, but neither has it been too bad. I've seen a lot of air quality yellow throughout the region, so we're not doing too bad. Smoke from the western wildfires has somewhat come under control, but yes, it is still producing haze around the region. And let's see, Red is saying he's talking to his dad in London about the weather, and Jerry is saying it's very hot and dry lately. Indeed, Jerry, I look at the emoji I use tomorrow for the Monday forecast. Indeed, that hot face that you're using here as well. I think Monday has a chance to be the hottest day of the week with apparent temperature heat index values. When you combine the heat with the humidity, it could feel like near 100 degrees in a few spots tomorrow. So keep that in mind. While yes, it is hot, above 90 perhaps until Friday this week, we do stair step slowly but surely downward the humidity this week. Dew points should slowly sink, especially by Friday, but even the Tuesday 95-degree reading could feel a little bit more comfortable than tomorrow's potential 92-degree reading, because we have just a little bit less humidity on Tuesday, and even Wednesday and Thursday could arguably be just a hair more dry, more comfortable air trying to kind of trickle into the region behind this stationary front that is moving through tomorrow as a cold front through the region, and then stalls and turns into a stationary front here for the Tuesday evening map into southeastern Virginia. And that's why we do see kind of rains over the next 7 days pictured here, focusing in southeastern Virginia and North Carolina because of that stalled out front south of the DC area. Let's see, does the rain in the south count for the tropical disturbance in the Atlantic near Florida? So far, I don't think we're entraining much moisture from what could be a tropical depression off the coast of Florida, and I'll show that to you really quick. Yes, there's a medium chance of a tropical depression developing off the coast of Florida, but not a major weather player so far for the mid-Atlantic and the DC area. And it's awfully close to the coast, and it may just stay a tropical, unorganized low-pressure system and bring some amplified rainfall to the southeast United States. But so far, it's not a major player at this time. But great question. I'm glad you're paying attention to the tropics. And our next name, let me show you here. And let me get my screen a little more proper for you here. So there's the current view, and then if we do see a tropical storm somehow develop this week, we would have the next name, Fred, here on the list. So keep that in mind as well. All right, I am going to put up some heat safety tips just for tomorrow being the hottest day of the week, potentially. Heat index values near 100 degrees, and the dew points should stay below 70 degrees this week, so not too muggy, not too gross, but still worth flagging. We're in July, so do those strenuous activities early and late if you can, and seek shade and air conditioning when you can as well. Hello, Peter. Thanks for tuning in. Barbara's got thunder and lightning near Charlottesville right now, so let me put up radar. Indeed, along the Blue Ridge and Appalachian Mountains, we do have some rain in the region, mainly west of I-95. So take the umbrella if you are going out and about, but remember, when thunder roars, head indoors for lightning safety. If you hear thunder, you are close enough to be struck by lightning, so keep that in mind, please. Patricia, appreciate you tuning in, most kind, and doing these weekly chats with me. Stephanie, bring on autumn and the cooler temps. You are not going to like this, Stephanie. As we look ahead into next work week, we have a slight probability around the mid-Atlantic of being above average in temperatures. And our average high temperature for next Sunday when you talk to me, and this map starts becoming applicable, 89 degrees still. We only come down 1 degree from our hottest average high temperature in the DC region of 90 degrees by the time we speak for our weekly Sunday sunset chats next week. And you will also not like this if you're waiting for autumn weather. We could, as we head into August, we have a slight chance of excessive heat, mainly around the Potomac River and south and southwest of town of the DC area. But just keep this in mind. The Climate Prediction Center is keeping an eye on a slight heat signal in the atmosphere for next work week as well. So we'll keep an eye on it at CapitalWeatherGang.com, where we're tuning in anytime you need us 24/7. We're at CapitalWeatherGang.com. And moisture-wise, slight probability. here in the green for the Mid-Atlantic and DC area, being above average in precipitation next work week as well. So gardeners, Frederick County, Maryland chimed in, and Fauquier County chimed in. We have a little more chance of some natural rains falling next work week as well, so hopefully reducing those watering needs for your lawn and garden and crops. And let's see, we've got Dondra tuning in. Nothing turning in the Atlantic this week because you are, I guess, going to experience some weather delays if there is a tropical item off the coast. But luckily, I am pleased to report that right now we just have a medium chance of maybe a tropical depression off the Florida coast developing, but it's awfully close to shore and it very well could move onshore before becoming a tropical storm. So just keep one eye on the tropics. We are not seeing a huge uptick in activity over the next 10 days or so, but all of us should, of course, as we get toward the peak of the season, September 10th, September 11th or so, in the Atlantic peak hurricane season. That's when the most activity is on the bell curve for activity in the Atlantic. We want to keep an eye on things until mid-August and onward into mid-September. So Dondra, don't change or cancel any of your plans right now if you're going to the beach. Alex, another heat wave and looking forward to it. I love when you tune in, Alex. You are the person who loves this heat, and if we can compromise, which I would love to, comfort levels kind of go better and better this week. By the time Friday comes along, my emoji shows better air, more relaxing conditions, because even though it's 89 degrees, dew points plummet and humidity levels become much more under control, much more comfortable. So it's more of a dry heat by Friday. And even I want to flag Monday, while it might look like 92 on the thermometer, it very well could be our hottest time of the week, the hottest day, with heat index values, apparent temperature values near 100 degrees in some spots, because our skin is going to have a hard time evaporating its sweat, which is its natural cooling mechanism, with higher dew points combining with the heat on Monday, and actually could feel a little bit more comfortable later this week. Even though the temperature goes up, we have stair-stepping downward the humidity levels as we go throughout the week, finally reaching an awesome or refreshing moment on Friday, so keep that in mind. Dingo, the same focus for Alexandria as well as DC. The same forecast applies to you. I love that you tune in each week. Good to see you. Bracing for potential storms in southern Pennsylvania, Charlene. Yes, indeed, the radar is active along the Mason-Dixon line there tonight along the Maryland-Pennsylvania border, so keep that in mind. Please stay inside if you hear thunder. And points also in central Virginia, west of I-95 toward the Blue Ridge and Appalachian Mountains as well. We are going to be adding this week to more and more of our days. We are up to 26 days already this season of 90 degrees or hotter in the Washington, D.C. area. So we are ticking onward and upward more into our heat counter, which you can find on capitalweathergang.com. And again, the hottest potential day this week, when you combine the air temperature with the humidity, could be on Monday for heat index values, apparent temperature, how it will feel to our skin, which is how our body breathes. It will feel near 100 degrees at times this week, so please keep that in mind. We may stay below muggy gross levels, keeping the dew points kind of below the 70-degree mark, but still practice heat safety. It's still a very strong July sun, so find shade and air conditioning when you can, and do those strenuous activities early or late as well, not in that midday sun if you could please avoid it. And another way to cool off is go to the Georgetown waterfront fountains, and I love this video. We are tagged on Twitter at Capital Weather. We will share your content as well if you have any other good creative ways to cool off. We're on all three of these social media platforms, broadcasting to you live tonight on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Dawn, indeed, we could use a little bit more rain. It's been very hit or miss throughout the region. Looking outward the next 7 days, there is some chance, especially southeast of town, for rain because of this front here on Tuesday evening, pictured here. Southeastern Virginia is where we think this front is going to stall, and that's going to be a focal point for some of the rains in the next 7 days. By the time you talk to me, we could see near 4 inches of rain in Virginia Beach next Sunday, for instance, when we do our weekly Sunday sunset chats. But we're not in drought. We're doing pretty darn okay east of the Mississippi River, nowhere near as bad as western parts of the United States. And even looking backward over the past 7 days, you can see, yes, we've had some dry spots, but this is the nature of these hit or miss storms throughout our region. A neighbor 2 miles away could have a great bountiful garden and green grass, but you have had nothing in the next week, and you are suffering and having to water with your garden, your grass, your crops, It is very hit or miss this time of year, even though July is our wettest month in the Mid-Atlantic in the Washington, D.C. region. But it is feast or famine depending on the week, and if we get these stalled out fronts, wherever they might end up, that's where the focal point is for some of these rains, so keep that in mind. Dust can affect tropical Atlantic weather, David. So far, not enough to suppress much activity in the Atlantic, and this one is close to the coast. Really, you have to have those Saharan dust plumes move off Africa, and yes, they can reach the Caribbean Ocean, but so far the plumes are not really taking a major effect right now, because typically this time of year, the main development region is closer to the United States, closer to North America, than over near the Cape Verde Islands and Africa. But of course, if dust continues to be a major plume factor coming off the Sahara later in August and near the peak of season in mid-September, then yes, it could be a silver lining that it kind of represses the development of thunderstorms, and thus tropical lows really can't get going into tropical depressions or tropical storms or hurricanes. All right, Dingo, thanks again for tuning in, and from Alexandria. Alex would rather take the heat over the frigid cold, and Doreen, hello from Annapolis, thanks for tuning in. And smoke, David, does not affect the tropics as much as dust. And Lisa, hello, thanks for tuning in. And Dawn is enjoying, it looks like, what Pam is saying, with, I think, needing some rain. Excellent. So thank you all for tuning in. I am about to sign off. I'm Camden Walker for Capital Weather Gang. Anytime you need us, we're at capitalweathergang.com, and our latest forecast is at CWG.news/latest. Stay cool this week. Monday could be your hottest day, especially when combining not just the temperature you see here, but the humidity factor, the higher dew points. We slowly stare downward, the muggy dew points toward Friday, becoming a little bit more comfortable. Relaxing emoji, fresher air emoji there on my Friday forecast. But yes, Monday and Thursday are the main thunderstorm potential days. Can't rule out patchy flooding downpours, maybe an isolated small gust, damaging wind gust near or above 57 miles per hour, and frequent lightning as well. So we'll keep you posted on capitalweathergang.com this week. I will see you next Sunday for our weekly Sunday Sunset Chat live Q&A. I'm Camden Walker.